Hey everyone, this first year of college we have a course called CityGov, which means Citizenship and Governance. In that course, we learn how good governance looks like, and as well as how to be a responsible citizen. Anyway, as our final task, our professor gave us a project called Governance Initiative. It's basically where groups of students come up with their own project that will encourage the government to perform its job better through our own initiative. I am Ezekiel Wilson M. Doromal, the group leader for this project. My group members are Sydney Ang, Manu Gayoso, Jose Salapantan, and Joshua Villanueva. Initially, we thought of doing a project we called Basket Taal, wherein we plan to partner up with the mayor to help people affected by the Taal volcano eruption. The funds will come from a basketball fundraiser, hence the name Basket Taal. By the way, the video shown in the background is a screen recording of some parts of our presentation on Project Basket Taal. This was a great idea, if what we were doing was charity work. We realized that this does not help improve governance. What we are supposed to do is to urge the government to do their jobs and help improve governance, not doing their jobs for them. So, we changed our plans. After a few sessions in our CityGov classes, we learned about the 8 characteristics of good governance. I won't go much into detail, but the 8 characteristics of good governance are participatory, consensus-oriented, accountable, transparent, responsive, effective and efficient, equitable and inclusive, and follows the rule of law. Anyway, we focused on the participatory aspect. In good governance, participatory means that citizens have a voice when it comes to decision making. To put this into practice, we revolved our governance initiative project around the participatory side of good governance. My group and I had meetings on what kind of city ordinances we will propose to the Mayor of Manila City, Isko Moreno. And here are the ordinances that we plan to propose: Green Barangay Ordinance and Scholarships. The first one is called Green Barangay Ordinance. Green Barangay Ordinance encourages communities to recycle seeds and stems of fruits and vegetables in order to propagate them into new plants. Barangays will allocate vacant spots where people can plant or replant fruits and vegetables. It is envisioned that Manila will be a huge urban garden, and household gardening will be encouraged as well. An ordinance may be passed allocating for seedling funds and urban agriculture education. Urban gardening is intended to address hunger, sickness, poverty, and pollution issues. The second one is called Scholarships. This is an ordinance that will require private schools to grant at least 2 full mandatory scholarships to poor but deserving residents of the barangay where the college, school, or university is located. Here is another variation. Ordinance requiring all private schools and universities in Manila to grant a minimum of 3 slots of full scholarship, either need-based or merit-based, to deserving students who are residents of the legislative district where the school or university is situated. For instance, if the private school is in Malate, Manila, it will be mandatory for such school to grant 3 slots of full scholarship to District 5 residents. So, those 2 ordinances, Green Barangay Ordinance and Scholarships, are what we came up with. But I felt like we could put one more viable suggestion before submitting it to the City Hall. I asked help from my father, Police Colonel Wilson Doromal, since he is well experienced as a law enforcer. I asked him what kind of ordinances I can suggest to Manila Mayor Isko Moreno. He gave me this suggestion because he said it solves a lot of problems in communities. The proposed ordinance is called Kasambahay Tracing. This ordinance requires all kasambahay or house helpers to register in the barangay where he or she is employed or intending to work. It's required that Kasambahays would go to the barangay hall of the barangay that has jurisdiction over the place where they intend to work for registration and profiling. Profiling is basically getting information such as name, age, personal details, and photos of the Kasambahay. These will be recorded in the barangay for reference. What's the purpose of this? Why do we need this? Well, first of all, this ordinance is for crime prevention. This proposed ordinance is mutually beneficial for both the house helpers and their employers. Alright, so now we have in total 3 proposed ordinances. These are the Green Barangay Ordinance, Scholarship, and Kasambahay Tracing. Now that we were finished with the contents of our letter, we had to find a way to send the letter to Manila Mayor Isko Moreno. On March 2, the first thing I did was to go to the Manila City Hall to figure out how to send the letter to the mayor. The people in the City Hall referred me to Councilor Joel Par for the following reasons. 1. Councilor Joel Par used to be the Chief of Staff of Mayor Isko Moreno when he was still a councilor, and now he himself is a councilor. 2. He is well experienced in terms of passage of ordinances. 3. Mayor Isko was abroad during those times, and they said he would be coming home in a few days. And 4. Councilor Joel Par was one of the few available people during those times. When I checked on him, he was available. Every other person I was referred to were unavailable when I checked on them. I had an appointment with Councilor Joel Par the following week. On March 11, I had to wait for him in the City Council for around 3 to 4 hours. When I met him, his staff told me to be ready with the initial presentation if ever we are able to set an appointment. In the same day, Councilor Joel Par messaged me that our appointment is set the following day at March 12, 2 p.m. However, on the morning of March 12, none of my group mates were allowed to go outside their homes because of the threats of COVID-19. So, I sent a text message to Councilor Joel Par if it's possible that we just send the proposals via Grab Express, wherein he agreed. As soon as the Grab Express driver arrived at the Manila City Hall, Councilor Joel Par messaged me to say that he is currently not in the office. So the Grab driver had to leave the envelope to the Smart office and handed the letter to Police Major Rizalino Ibay. Councilor Joel Par, through phone call and email, confirmed that he received the proposal. Shortly after, the enhanced community quarantine was implemented all throughout Luzon. By the way, if you want to see the proposals, the letter, and basically the details of the project, the Google Docs links are in the description below. Through this governance initiative project, we help the government achieve good governance, most especially in the area of participatory. When we exercise our responsibility as citizens to raise our concerns and suggestions to the government, we help the government to improve. Hopefully, we get to see at least one of our proposed ordinances approved in the near future. That's all for the video. Thanks for watching.